It is Friday. I'm Jenna Wolf. That's the Hall of Famer Chris Carter. He's thirsty. That is Nick Wright. Great night last night in sports. Discuss great morning today. And did I mention it's Friday? Big show. Giants made another puzzling move after dealing Odell. A former Steeler says he's happy to be away from all the drama in Pittsburgh. But how do we not start with the star of the night? One word for you, it's Zion. Made as much hyped, much anticipated, much ado about everything returned to the court for Duke last night and absolutely did not miss a beat. Blue Devils taking on Syracuse in the ACC tournament, and Zion taking on everyone in the ACC tournament. 29 points, 14 rebounds. He went a perfect 13 for 13 in his return. He had 4 dunks in the first half alone. Zion had missed 5 games, 5 complete games, nursing a sprained knee, but you wouldn't have noticed it watching him last night. CC, I'll start with you. You watched this game. How impressive was Zion last night?
He's amazing. He's amazing to watch. It's very, very hard in sports. If you've been around sports, there's a lot of young people in sports now. They're into sports or covering sports, and they swear it's the best thing that they've ever seen. But they've only been alive for like 3 minutes and everything. But to say that, what NBA player does he remind you of? None. Or what athlete does he remind you of? None. And after missing 5 games, comes back and shows you why he will be the #1 pick in the draft. It has nothing to do with scoring, has nothing to do with his defense, has nothing to do with how he can play above the rim, his athleticism, has nothing to do with it. It's about all those things. And I'm glad to see him back on the court playing in games that mean something. This Duke team, if they're going to win the NCAA, they're going to have Zion in the lineup. In those 5 games that he missed, they were under 501. 2 of those games, lost 3 of those games. So it was great to see him back on the court. And I think the thing that I miss the most, I think it's easy to say, man, his dunks, how high he jumps and everything. But he's really good on the defensive end. His reaction time, how he can cut down the passing lanes, his ability to be able to rebound the basketball. I mean, he gets the rebounds where I haven't never seen people rebound the basketball that far above the rim. So it was exciting to see. He was very, very impressive. And under the circumstances where he's getting a lot of blowback, man, should he keep going? What should he do? Should he be a part of this program? I think it's great. He made a great decision to be out there with his teammates and to see him back on the court with that type of balance. It was a special night for him.
He is simply an unstoppable offensive force. And by the way, he might be a better defender right now. Yeah. What he is able to do right there, how about that? How about you go across the other side of the rim, smack it off the backboard, almost hit you in the head. His instincts defensively matched with his athleticism, he will walk into the NBA as a rookie and be one of the better weak side defenders in the league. He set all of the dunks aside. Last year, we showed a couple high schoolers who were amazing dunkers, Zion Williamson and the Georgetown kid, Mac McClung. Now, Mac McClung is having a nice year at Georgetown this year. But what we have seen is he is an amazing athlete that is not nearly the refined player this guy is. He misses 6 games, essentially 6 games, because he got hurt 7 seconds into the game, the North Carolina game. Duke goes 3-3. They're 24-2 when he plays. Those 2 losses, the Gonzaga game, that Gonzaga, by the way, was the #1 team in the country up until the most recent rankings, I should say. They lost to them by 2, and they lost to Syracuse in overtime. That's their only 2 losses this year with Zion playing. His offensive rebounding is as good as any college player that I can remember. The way Syracuse guys looked underfed compared to him. He was pushing them out of the way. They had no shot. He's remarkable. And the idea that any team would consider anyone other than him as the #1 pick at this point is laughable. He was hurt. He comes back. Credit to Duke for clearly, not only did they not rush him back, they gave him full time to get to 100%, at least according to him. And he took 1 shot outside of the paint. You just saw it, and everything else were dunks and layups, 1 little fadeaway on people's head. You can't stop him at the collegiate level.
He dunked 30 seconds into the game. Yeah. A steal and a shot across, and he dunked. CC, you touched on it. There were people out there that said after he got hurt, shut him down. Let's protect his draft stock for this upcoming season. Do you feel now that he justified him coming back?
Well, I think that as an athlete, as a hooper, man, what they do and what they do best typically is hoop. And he's got so much. Nick used the word as far as refined. As far as some of those other athletes that are great dunkers, even in the NBA, we have some guys that are great dunkers, but they're not good basketball players. Zion has the ability with the base that he has now, because he doesn't have a good post game. He has basically, I'm going to drop a step, I'm going to go over my right shoulder, dribble once or twice, and elevate over you. That's the only real post move. He doesn't have a fade away. So he has a little set shot as a three-pointer. He can grow his game by leaps and bounds. So for me, that only way you do that is in the gym. So people say, well, we can do all these workouts and everything. You can't work out like that. You can't get them play like that. And you can't make the prospect play with the type of energy that Zion played with in a workout, because you know it's just a workout compared to a game. And if he is who he's supposed to be, and he's supposed to be a performer, that's who LeBron was, that's who Kobe was, that's who these guys are. And he needs a stage to perform. And Duke is the best stage in college basketball. So it was a no-brainer to me. I'm going to treat all these decisions one
individually.
By one. But yeah, Zion and him wanting to come back and knowing it was he sprained the inside ligament of his knee, that's not something that's going to hurt him in the future. Sat out 5 games, and as we saw last night, you don't keep improving unless you get out there like he did last night.
Zion's building his athletic resume. It's not just the skills, it's his resume. Can win ACC Tournament Player of the Year. He can win the MVP of the ACC tournament, I should say. He probably lost the opportunity to win the Naismith Player of the Year with the injury, but he absolutely can be an All-American. He can win a national championship. He could be MVP of the Final Four if Duke gets there. He is building his resume. He's just went 13 of 13 in an ACC tournament game. He led the game in points, led both teams in rebounds, led both teams in blocks, led both teams in, oh my God, what did he just do? And the intensity part that C mentions, basketball players are going to hoop. Guys are going to go to UCLA, NBA guys in the offseason and play. But they're not going to be playing for championships. They're not going to be playing with referees where you've got to get with the flow of the game.
Yeah.
You get subbed out,
They're not going to be taking charges. Guys aren't going to be going under your legs. Those are the types of things that you need to, you talk about build your basketball resume. He's trying to build his athletic resume.
Right.
The more times you fall in traffic, the more times you learn how to fall in traffic. And that can only be duplicated. It can only be duplicated with the energy that are in game type situations.
Quickly, C mentioned his post game. Is there a part of his game that still needs work, or how does he translate into the NBA?
A ton of his game needs work. He's not a reliable free throw shooter. He's not a consistent three-point shooter. He's a better three-point shooter than I think people thought he was going to be based on his high school tape. Like, he has a decent little set shot. If he develops any type of a back-to-the-basket game, he will be devastating. And I think he could at the next level. Now, at the next level, he's actually going to be a little undersized height-wise. He'll be stronger than just about everybody. No, he needs to develop all of his game. But we have been trying to grasp for who does he remind you of. And there isn't a player that I can think of that checks all the boxes. You've got to do a combo of players. I said Barkley, LeBron, Sean Kemp, if you pull different parts of their game. But as far as what he could do in the NBA as a rookie, as the guy he is now, think of Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin as a rookie didn't shoot, couldn't shoot, made 7 threes all year. Blake Griffin didn't have a refined post game. Blake Griffin was going to go out athlete you. And he went 23-12 his rookie year. Now, he had a redshirt year with the Clippers because he got hurt. So he was he was older, a little more refined, 1 year out of the University of Oklahoma. But, I mean, I think he can have that type of instant impact in the NBA. I think he'd be a 20-point-a-game guy with his game now, and it will only get better.
There's a few things that are very, very difficult for young players transitioning to the NBA. One is the overall physical strength. These guys don't have the body. Those Syracuse kids, they better stay in school a long time. Because the physical strength to be able to endure an 82 games in the season against grown men. That's the #1 thing. And then it becomes a skill thing. And those 3 skills happen to be shooting the basketball, dribbling the basketball, and defending. I'll go to the defending part first because he is a willing defender. Typically, when we get these superstars, they're not willing defenders. So it takes them some time time to get up to the speed of, man, I have to defend my own position. He's already got that. As far as shooting the basketball, for his size, and he can get to the rim, his shot will continue to develop. Now, for me, the last thing is, and it what sets for all the great players that we see, the dribbling skills. How much better is he going to get at